listening to Off Air, an audio play by Raghav Suri. Monday.
Good morning. This is Sally Suggs on RSPCT, the best talk radio in town, according to our corporate shareholders. Hope you're having a great morning. But what does the rest of the week have in store? Here's Tiffany with the weather.
Thanks, Sally. Well, it's a sunny morning and it looks like the rays are gonna keep on shining until mid-afternoon, with highs in the high 80s and lows also in the high 80s. In the evening, expect the temperature to drop and get a bit colder. We can expect mid-80s. But there's a cold front on the horizon over the weekend, from day until night. So you'll have to cancel your beach plans, unless you can handle the low 80s. If not, stay at home and snuggle up. If you're still cold, burn something. You may need it. Back to you, Sally.
We hope you're not hating your commute to work this morning. But who are we kidding? The traffic in this town sucks. You'd think we were living in a modern metropolis that's worth living in. But no. Anyways, as you're on your way to work contemplating what went wrong with your life, Steve Cape will help you get through the day. But first, have you thought about buying insurance?
Do you live your life feeling relaxed and with complete peace of mind? Well, what the heck is wrong with you? You need to feel fear. The more paranoid, the better. The sky's the limit for some, but for most of us, it'll be falling and crashing right down on us. That's why you need to visit us at Oh No Insurance. We're an all-purpose insurance firm no matter what your needs are. Health insurance, we got you covered. Gambling insurance, you bet. But that's not all. We've got car insurance, boat insurance, small business insurance, big business insurance, fraud insurance, insider trading insurance, life insurance, wife insurance, insurance agency insurance. In fact, if you're looking for assurance, all you gotta do is visit us at Oh No Insurance, because you never know when the chips are down and you just wanna scream. Ah!
And we're back. Did you miss us over the weekend? You know, had I been back in my early 20s, when I spent 2 weeks backpacking all over one city in Southeast Asia, I would say, Good morning, Vietnam! But since I'm still in this town, I'll just say, Good morning to you all on this fine Monday morning. This is your friend, Steve Cape. How are you doing? I already know the answer. I don't know why I bother asking. It's another hot morning, and it looks like we'll be stuck in a sauna for the rest of the week. But there's always a silver lining, even when there aren't any clouds in the sky. I have a big announcement. This is my last week on the show. I gave my notice at the beginning of the year. I didn't want to have an entire fanfare about my leaving, so that's why I've left it at the last minute. This Friday, I'll be recording my final show. My girlfriend and I are leaving over the weekend. We're moving to a new town to start a new life. Slightly cooler weather, better beaches, peace and quiet, and close proximity to the best cruise lines. What more could we ask for? But before I tell you about my new plans, a quick word from Carl's Cars.
You know, I was riding my bike downhill and the brakes stopped working just when I needed them. I couldn't rely on them, and this has become a recurring experience. All I can say is that it's a vicious cycle. And that's when I decided to start Carl's Cars. I'm Carl. I've been running my secondhand auto dealership in this town for 10 years now, and I'm looking forward to 10 more. Whether you need a convertible so that your lady's wig can blow away in the wind, or a soccer mom van, which is perfect for the kids, but just awful for your street cred, we've got something for you. So come on down to Carl's Cars and find the car that you didn't dream of, but that you'll need nonetheless.
Now back to you, Steve.
Thanks, Sally. So what have we got for you today? We have an interview coming up with Buck McGee, author of the upcoming bestseller. At least he believes it'll be a bestseller. There's no hope, you might as well give up, in which he reflects on the state of our society and where it's heading. If you are looking for something to brighten up your day, you might want to dial into the Grunge Station, DPRSD, right about now. But before we sit down with Buck, just a quick word from another advertiser.
Have you dreamt about life overseas? Maybe you've thought about sunny Spain, or maybe you've fantasized about freezing to death in Greenland. But there is a better option, right here in Wales. That's right, who needs Scotland? And as for England, oh, give me a break. But Wales has it all. And if you're American, which you are, You never know. You might have a little bit of Welsh in you. So contact the best relocation company in town, Get Me Out of Here LLC, to plan your move to Wales. You won't regret it. And just remember, amateurs live in Schenectady, experts live in Puxatawny. Legends live in Llanfairpwll, Gwingell, Gwngell, Llwndwr, Llanelli, go, go, go.
And at the end of the day, I showed that fool who's boss.
You sure did. Anyways, this is your host, Steve Cape, hoping you're all having a fine morning wherever you are. Today we've got Buck McGee in the studio. Now, Buck, how you doing this fine morning?
Doing just fine. How about yourself, Steve? I hear you're leaving town soon.
Yep, moving on to greener pastures, looking to start a new life, hopefully a happier one, which conveniently brings us to your book. There's no hope, you might as well give up. Now, Buck, why the pessimism? Or dare I say, why the nihilism?
Well, I say it's realism. See, my book is an analysis of what's going on in our society, where we went wrong, and why we can't fix it. Well, at least, not in this lifetime.
Yes, well, let's have a look at a few pages here and there, just to give our listeners a sense of what they can expect. Your first chapter is titled, Just Leave the Damn Country Already, in which you discuss a few people, by name, as well as certain groups of people who are making life in the country miserable.
That's right. If you want to fix the country, you need to expose those who are ruining it.
So it's kind of like a tell-all where you tell all about the worst people in our society?
That's exactly what it is.
So why the delay? I thought the book was due to be released last year.
Well, the publishers, they were a bit nervous. See, I'm having meetings with my lawyer to see what I can and can't say. You know, the publishers, they don't want to get sued for libel. But make no mistake, by the end of this year, the book will be released, and I know it's going to be a bestseller.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. So, why don't you give us a sneak peek? Who are some of the miscreants who are ruining this great country of ours? Why don't you name these cancers on our society?
Well, if you want names, you're going to have to buy the book. I ain't going to give anything away for free. Come on now, this is America. But I'll tell you what kinds of people are ruining the quality of life that we all once enjoyed. Let's start with the political commenters.
Political commenters? But one would say they provide a valuable service to society, teaching us what the left thinks and what the right thinks. They
don't provide jack, son. All they do is turn people against each other. They aren't interested in building any sort of unity. They're just interested in starting a war between us and them. I tell you what, we'd be better off if every political commenter from every political persuasion just hung up their boots and got the heck out of Dodge.
Well, if they're going to get out of Dodge, they should probably keep their boots on.
You're trying to be funny, son.
Not at all, sir. I'm a radio host, not a stand-up comedian, as much as I try to become one.
Oh, don't worry, son. You found your calling being on the radio. I'm sure many people will miss you. What career change have you got planned after you leave?
Well, I'm not really thinking of a career change. I mean, I am kind of a star. I'm just leaving this station and moving to another town. I'll still be behind the microphone somehow. Who knows? Maybe we'll meet again, and I'll interview you after your book has been released.
I'm sure you will.
All right, that was Buck McGee, author of the upcoming best-selling book, There's No Hope, You Might As Well Give Up. You'll find it later this year in the self-help section of your favorite bookstore. We'll be right back after a quick break.
You're listening to RSPCT with Steve Cape. If you're looking to sponsor us, give us a call or visit our website. You won't regret it. And if you do, we don't give refunds. Wednesday.
You know, I was riding my bike downhill and the brakes stopped working. Just when I needed them. I couldn't rely on them, and this has become a recurring experience. All I can say is that it's a vicious cycle. And that's when I decided to start Carl's Cars. I'm Carl. I've been running my secondhand auto dealership in this town for 10 years now, and I'm looking forward to 10 more. Whether you need a convertible so that your lady's wig can blow away in the wind, or a soccer mom van, which is perfect for the kids, but just awful for your street cred, we've got something for you. So come on down to Carl's Cars and find the car that you didn't dream of, but that you'll need nonetheless.
Thanks, Sally. This is Steve Cape reporting live for RSPCT. Can you believe it's Wednesday already? Just hang in there. The weekend will come sooner than you think. For me, I'm just 2 days away from my final day at this station and in this town. Anyways, I'm here in the town square, asking people what they think about the upcoming election, who they're voting for, and what they think are the biggest issues in our town and in the country at large. You know, we all go through different phases when it comes to our political views. I remember when I was young,
Oh my God! You're that evil Steve Cape!
Steve Cape. Yes. Evil? No.
You're evil! You're a racist, and you promote racism!
How exactly am I a racist?
You're a straight white male! All men are evil!
Okay. I don't really know how I'm racist. I literally work for a radio station named after an Aretha Franklin song. And we also play rap music on occasion.
Don't listen to this guy! He's evil! Free speech is hate speech! Shut him down! Shut him down!
Yeah, I'm just going to ignore you. Anyways, what are the issues facing our town today? I think we can all agree that one of the biggest problems is unemployment, not for a talented genius like me, of course. But for the average layman, emphasis on lame, he or she, let's not be sexist, can't get a job. Who's to blame? Is it the employer? Well, looking at the lack of talent in this town, myself excluded, I for one cannot blame the employer.
Hey, you're that Steve Cape, aren't you?
Yes, sir, that's me. And you're on the radio, live on RSPCT. Listen, do you have an opinion worth sharing? Maybe you do. Probably not, but heck, I'm feeling generous today.
I don't waste time with opinions, mister, but I've got two things on my side. One is the Lord, and the other is facts. I'll tell you what's ruining this town, Mr. Cape. It's people like you, your vulgar radio channel playing that godforsaken music, except when you actually play country. I also hate those darn car commercial for secondhand cars. And that too from foreign countries. That insurance company is the worst, trying to instill fear in ordinary people. Let me tell you, you can't live your life in fear, and that's exactly what these insurance companies do. Try to make you unnecessarily scared. The great thing about this town is that we don't have to fear each other and can live a peaceful life in our mansions with high walls, barbed wire, CCTV cameras, more guns than the army of a small island in the Pacific, and an underground bunker in an undisclosed location in our basements. Yet people like you and your radio station are ruining this peaceful town for us. I'll be glad when you finally leave this week. The weekend can't come soon enough as far as I'm concerned.
Well, there you have it. They say you get wiser as you get older. Clearly, they were idiots. Now, the next question is, wait, I'm getting a message. Yes, Sally? Okay, I'll announce it now. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got breaking news, and unfortunately, we have a sad story. Buck McGee, who appeared on our show on Monday to promote his upcoming book, was found dead in his apartment. He was lying on his living room floor. Police suspect foul play, and an investigation is underway. That's all we know for now. We'll give you updates as we receive them. We'll be right back after this short break.
You're listening to RSPCT with Steve Cape. If you accidentally tuned in, don't leave us. We need the listeners. If you change the station now, you're a disgrace to humanity. Thursday.
Hey, Steve, how's it going?
I'm all right, Sally. Do you want some coffee?
Yes, please. I could use a cup. So, tomorrow's the big day? I mean, tomorrow's your last day, and then you leave the next morning?
Yep, all our bags are packed.
Well, we'll miss you, Steve. I'll be taking over until they find a replacement, but I don't think anyone can do what you did. You made this station a success.
I know, Sally. You'll just have to cope without the cape.
Anyways, I wanted to ask, you still haven't played that commercial for the detective agency. And that detective, what's his name? Detective Gupta? He submitted his commercial a month ago, and now he wants to be interviewed as he's investigating the murder of Buck McGee. You still haven't responded to his request.
I don't know if we have time for an interview today. We've already got an interview with that film director later.
Well, then let's do a phone interview with the detective. It can be short. We just need an update on that Buck McGee case. We have to share it with our listeners before our competitors do.
All right, we'll squeeze in an interview with him. just before we interview the director, but it has to be fast.
Okay, and can you also play his commercial today?
No can do. We only have one more slot available, and it's for the car dealership.
The car dealership? Again? But you've already played the same commercial twice.
Yes, but the man has paid a lot of money to have his car dealership advertised 3 times this week, and 4 next week, by the way. We have to keep our promise.
Okay, then we'll have to play it. I just wish he could have made at least 3 separate commercials. I'm tired of hearing the same commercial again and again and again.
You know, I was riding my bike downhill and the brakes stopped working. Just when I needed them. I couldn't rely on them and this has become a recurring experience. All I can say is that it's a vicious cycle. And that's when I decided to start Carl's Cars. I'm Carl. I've been running my secondhand auto dealership in this town for 10 years now, and I'm looking forward to 10 more. Whether you need a convertible so that your lady's wig can blow away in the wind, or a soccer mom van, which is perfect for the kids, but just awful for your street cred, we've got something for you. So come on down to Carl's Cars and find the car that you didn't dream of, but that you'll need nonetheless.
I tell you, if I didn't already have a car to drive out of town this weekend, I know exactly where I'd go to buy one. Now we've got an exciting interview coming up with Thomas Terry, a filmmaker from the UK who's got an interesting movie coming out that's supposed to make us think. I also hope it'll entertain us, but you never know these days. But before we get into the interview with Tom, we've got Detective Raj Gupta on the phone to discuss the Buck McGee case. Detective Gupta, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great, Steve. Thanks for calling.
Now, Detective, can you give us a quick update on the Buck McGee case?
Well, we suspect that Mr. McGee was murdered in his home. We have signs of a break-in, but we don't think that this was a robbery gone wrong. As we all know, Mr. McGee was working on his latest book and was hoping to have it published by the end of the year. Yet we couldn't find a copy of the manuscript in his apartment. His laptop hard drives were all missing. And we suspect that his book would have upset the wrong people who had him murdered. As of now, we don't have any suspects, but we're keeping our eyes peeled. We're also reaching out to the public. If they have any knowledge that could help the police, to please contact them, or you can contact me directly at my detective agency.
Yikes, this is scary stuff. Well, we wish you all the best, Detective. We hope you catch the killer soon.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Goodbye.
That was Detective Gupta giving us an update on the Buck McGee case. We'll be right back after a short message for an interview with filmmaker Thomas Terry.
You're listening to RSPCT with Steve Cape. If you're looking to sponsor us, give us a call or visit our website. You won't regret it. And if you do, we don't give refunds.
And we're back, and we've got a brilliant interview coming up with one of cinema's most dynamic, interesting, and, dare I say, pretentious filmmakers. Like an Andy Warhol film, this is something you absolutely don't want to miss. Straight from the UK, Thomas Terry is here in our studio to promote his latest movie. How are you doing, Tom?
It's Thomas, if you will.
Sorry about that. So, Thomas, could you tell us about your movie?
Well, I wouldn't want to cheapen my artistic creation by using vulgar terminology such as film or, God help us, movie. I wouldn't say that this is the film at all. I would refer to this as a visual experience.
Okay, and what is this visual experience about? What's the plot?
A plot? My dear Stephen, plots and characters and stories are for novels. This visual experience is more than just a mere story that entertains you and you forget about the next day. No. My good man, this is something that will make us think. It will also make us ask important questions. It's one that makes us wonder. What is important? Is anything important? How do we define importance? If we're all going to die, does anything matter? What is matter? Is it simply the particles that make up the universe? Or is there more that we need to think about? How does one accomplish mind over matter? These are trying times, and we need to take the time to try to think about these things, don't you think?
Well, certainly, yeah, indeed, these are trying times. So, tell me more about the movie. Please tell us more about the visual experience. Who are the actors? Any big names?
Well, our lead has 10 letters in his first name and 17 letters in his surname, so we do have one big name. But once again, I will object to your terminology, my dear Stephen. The men and women in this visual experience are not mere actors. Rather, they are participants in the experience, as they are reciting their lines written by a genius, yours truly. They are also engaging with the questions that linger on all of our minds. In other words, they aren't mere actors as you suggest, Stephen. As they perform, they discover.
Okay, well, that's all we have for you today.
Hold on a minute, whoa. Wait a bloody minute. Hold on, my son. You promised me that I'd have a full 10 minutes to promote my film.
I thought it wasn't a film, Thomas. And what happened to your accent?
It's Tommy to you, my son. You taking the piss? I'm going to keep rambling about my film. You haven't given me the chance to tell your listeners where they can watch the bloody thing.
Okay, so it seems like this interview is not over, but nevertheless, we have to take a short break. I guess I'll be staying late tonight. Oh well, only one day left.
You're listening to RSPCT with Steve Cape. If you accidentally tuned in, don't leave us. We need the listeners. If you change the station now, you're a disgrace to humanity. Friday.
Good morning, everyone, on this lovely Friday morning. A long day of work, as always, but we're almost at the weekend. I'm sure you've all got plans for the weekend. For me, I have bittersweet news. Today's my last day, as you know, and I'm moving out of this town tomorrow morning. It's been a great 10 years, and I can't believe how fast the time has gone. But once I get settled, wherever me and my lady go, you'll be able to hear me. I'll definitely be on the radio again, and if not, I'll start a podcast. Why not? But today we're starting with an important conversation. Yesterday we had a quick phone call with Detective Raj Gupta, who's currently investigating the Buck McGee case. We've now got him in the studio to give us another update. Good morning, Detective. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Steve. Thanks again for inviting me.
Not at all. So it's just been a day since we last spoke, but are there any updates in the Buck McGee case?
Not as much as we would have hoped for. By now, we would have expected to have gotten a lead, maybe even one or two suspects, but nothing so far.
And has anyone from the public come forward to assist you or the police?
Unfortunately, no.
Well, we hope that'll change. And for anyone listening now, if you have any information that could help Detective Gupta, please reach out to him. Listen, Detective, do you at least have an inkling who could have done this to Buck McGee?
As I mentioned to you yesterday, Steve, we know that this was not an unplanned break-in. Whoever barged into Buck's apartment knew he was there. They shot and killed him and then stole his manuscript, his laptop, and hard drives. They were clearly trying to prevent his new book from being published.
And why would that be?
Well, as he mentioned on your show, his latest book was exposing some of the people ruining our society. He had to speak to his lawyer to avoid any libel or slander, but nevertheless, he was still going to write nasty things about people. Maybe even expose certain things that would rather be kept under the covers.
So you think one of these people, who are allegedly ruining our society, killed him or had him killed?
That's all we can think of as of now. He must have written about someone who didn't want to be written about. He must have been ready to expose something that could ruin someone's life.
It seems so, but who could it be? Let's be real, there's no shortage of shady people in this town, so it could be anybody.
Indeed, our first instinct is to check up on the politicians. With the elections coming up soon, it's possible Buck had written something that could ruin a politician's career forever. As he mentioned on your show, he had a particular distaste for political commenters. So maybe it was one of the many political commenters in our town who had him killed, if they didn't do it themselves.
Well, I wish you and your team all the best, Detective. I'll be keeping up with the news even when I'm gone, and I'm sure you'll catch the guy soon.
We hope so, Steve, but as of now, we aren't too optimistic. While the whole town wants to know who killed Buck McGee, and I want to give them an update, I also can't lie to them and give them false hopes.
Don't worry, Detective. I'm sure something will happen soon.
Well, we have a saying in Hindi, Tere muh mein ghee shakkar, which essentially means may what you have said come true.
Well, I'll drink to that.
So, when are you heading out?
First thing tomorrow morning. We want to beat the traffic. My lady and I are early risers, so shouldn't be too long a drive.
I think I can speak on behalf of this whole town, Steve, that we'll all miss you. I remember when I moved here 8 years ago, I would listen to you each morning as I commuted to the station.
8 years ago? My God, that seems like a lifetime. The show was still in its early days, but we were rapidly becoming popular. And when did you become a detective?
Well, I began my agency 2 years back. I actually created a commercial and sent it to you guys. Not sure if you've heard it yet. Anyways, I wanted to go independent but still work alongside the police. We've had a few small cases here and there, but nothing we couldn't handle. That is, until this case with Buck McGee. It's actually the biggest test of my career. You know, I'm actually in shock that he was killed. I wouldn't say we were friends, but he was one of the first people I spoke to when I moved to the town.
Well, he was one of the few natives in this town. Most people here have only been here for 3 generations maximum, but his family goes back to when this town was founded. So, naturally, he feels deeply rooted to the place.
And what about you, Steve? When did you move here?
10 years ago, literally a month before the show began. I applied for the job, sent an audition sample, and I got it. I thought I'd live in the town for a month, explore it, get to know it before I started the job.
Well, you've certainly become part of the town. It'll feel empty without you.
Don't worry, Detective. Sally will be taking over, and she's lived in the town her whole life. I'm sure they'll find a replacement soon. Maybe another native, the few who are left.
And will you come visit us? I hope you won't become a stranger now that you're starting a new life elsewhere.
Of course, I'll try to come visit. My lady and I still don't know where we'll go. There's a town we're planning on spending a few months in, but whether we'll stay there long term or keep traveling until we find the right place, we still don't know.
Well, regardless of where you go, your lady will still have to come visit every now and then. To see her brother, of course.
Excuse me?
Her brother, the one who owns the car dealership that you've advertised 3 times this week, and that you plan on promoting 4 times next week?
I'm not sure I understand.
Steve, I know that your lady owns the car dealership with her brother, and that you two have a stake in it.
Detective, I think you're mistaken. Maybe we should take a break.
We've been following you for almost a year now, Steve. We know that you and your lady have been involved with the car dealership. We also know that the dealership focuses on selling second-hand cars. What they never seem to mention in those ads you keep playing is that the cars are stolen.
There must be some mistake, Detective. This isn't the time to discuss this.
There is no better time than the present, Steve. We know that you've been profiting off selling stolen cars. Buck McGee was writing a book in which he was exposing the various miscreants in our society who are ruining it. One of those miscreants was you, the talk show host who everybody loves, but who has a shady past. A man who has been profiting off other people's property and who's ready to get out of Dodge tomorrow with his earnings. A man who hired an assassin, who we're still looking for, to murder Buck McGee.
Detective, is this some kind of sick joke?
When you moved to this town a decade ago, you were nothing. You didn't have a penny to your name, and you hadn't achieved a damn thing in your life. You didn't get this gig at the station because of your talents. You got it because this failing station needed a replacement host, and you're the only sap who applied. You met your lady shortly after she and her brother began the car dealership. They told you exactly what they were about, and you decided to join along. Your popularity on this station increased due to your on-air confidence, and your on-air confidence increased because, unknown to everyone else, you were becoming a rich man since you owned a stake in the largest criminal enterprise this town has known, but thankfully won't know any longer. And now, adding to your rap sheet, you ordered the murder of one of the town's greatest residents, a man who, unlike you, worked hard for his money, was an honest man, and actually cared about this town, rather than wanting to exploit the people who lived in it. There are still some loose ends in our case, but I'm sure, Mr. Steve Cape, you'll be happy to tie them up for us.
We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Hi, I'm Detective Raj Gupta. I've been serving this town ever since I moved here working in our local police force. Now I'm here to help ordinary citizens like you get the justice you deserve. Whether you suspect your neighbor just got murdered, you're wondering who stole your car, or you feel this town is crawling with suspicious characters, I'll be on the lookout, so give me a call, and just remember, when Detective Gupta's in town, I'll take on the boldest of the bold, and you can be assured the case will soon be closed.
Thanks for tuning in. You've been listening to RSPCT with Steve Cape. We'll be back on air next week with a new host. You've been listening to Off Air, an audio play by Raghav Suri. Written, directed, and edited by Raghav Suri. Produced by Raghav Suri. Co-produced by Meenakshi Suri. Steve Cape was voiced by Phil Colpatronis. Buck McGee was voiced by Laith Walschlager. Sally Suggs was voiced by Sammy Price. Thomas Terry was voiced by Neil Martin Jr. Tiffany was voiced by Burtis. Hysterical Liberal was voiced by Allison Cossett. Hysterical Conservative was voiced by Andrew Scholl. Oh No, Insurance Commercial was voiced by Christopher Marsh. Carl's Cars Commercial was voiced by Victor Harris. Get Me Out of Here LLC Commercial was voiced by Garant Reese. And Detective Raj Gupta was voiced by Kaushal Patel. Imaging and opening and closing credits by Callie Phillips. Listen to other audio productions by Raghav Suri at suriaudio.com. That's SURI audio.com. You can see more work by Raghav Suri at raghavsuri.com. That's RAGHAVSURI.com. You can see more work by Meenakshi Suri at meenakshisuri.com. That's MEENAKSHISURI.com. Words and audio, excluding music and sound effects, are copyright 2024 Raghav Suri. All rights reserved. Music by inaudio.org. By infraction. Used with permission. Sound effects by freesound.org. Used with permission. Visit suriaudio.com to see the full credits. This audio play is an original work of fiction. Any resemblance to real-life persons or events is purely coincidental and unintentional. Any resemblance to an existing story in any medium is purely coincidental and unintentional. The commercials in this audio play are fictional and don't intend to bear resemblance to any actual companies, products, and services. Thanks for tuning in.